kid's tall, 6'5" or 6", thereabout, carries it all through the legs, not the trunk of his body as some men do. From the knee to his hip, he is nearly as tall as the mine is deep in this section, so the crawl behind Maiden is cumbersome. Don't bow your back, Maiden warns. 4160 running overhead. Maiden is only a white hat himself. This is the first time he's been part of the robbing pillars, and he is uneasy, even though the actual pillar robbing is not his job. Once they've humped out the vein they're working on, the robbers will come behind and start pulling the pillars, the mountain collapsing at their heels. There is water standing in ruts along the crawl, which dampens the knees of their work pants. Occasionally they hear a drip, but once they travel deeper inside, the floor of the shaft becomes dry again. Visibility is only possible by the dim lights of their miner's caps, powered by wet cell batteries. Overhead, the 4160 hums in Maiden's ears. The only other thing so far that has spooked him is the blasting. When the dynamite men come in, the others hunker down where they are and protect themselves as best they can. The only real thing between them and firing the hole is prayer. Not even the unbelievers chance it. Faith can move mountains, the miners say. Just pray like hell they don't have to. A case of the nerves makes the red hat natter on about something or other behind Maiden. Baseball, goose gossage. Maiden has never watched a game of professional baseball or any other sport, on television or anywhere else, but he can't imagine pulling for a player from New York City. He likes only westerns and war movies, though he doesn't mention it to the red hat. Maiden lets him blather on, respectfully saying nothing, only occasionally issuing a calm reminder now and again about the current running overhead. The red hat is having trouble, though, and somewhere deep in the pit of Maiden's stomach, he knows something is going to happen. Something bad. It's as if a ghost has suddenly whispered in his ear. His flesh crawls all over, and he throws another piece of slab up onto the conveyor. Then he turns to look at the red hat, low crawling for every penny he's worth. Maiden thinks of learning to low crawl himself at the boy's age, 19 or thereabouts, in the Army, basic training, under the concertina wire, fake rounds fired overhead and only sporadically. Nothing nearly so dangerous as 4160. The red hat hasn't thrown the first chunk of coal up onto the belt, but Maiden does not reprimand. The boy is scared. Maiden lets him prattle on. Got an aunt over here in Grundy, the kid says. Reckon we might be up under her house? Maiden doesn't answer, says only again, watch it there now. Hard to say, I guess. Never know, though. We could be. Right up under Jimmy's old room. Jimmy's gone off to Beckley. We got people there, you know. I knew this one girl from War nearby, you know, and buddy, I'm telling you, she was just about... And then, just like that, Maiden sees things happen twice before his eyes. One version takes place quick. In an instant, he sees the red hat stretch forward with one arm, his head buried into the earth. Then he bows up for leverage to push off again, and as he pitches back on one knee, he arches his spine, and the wet strap of his mining belt draws too near the 4160 and sparks. "Oh, Lord," the boy cries. "Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord." Over and over and over, while Maiden screams back down through the shaft that a man has gotten tangled up in the wire. "Kill the switch," Maiden screams. "Cut the goddamn juice. A man's hit, a man's hit. Good Jesus, a man's hit. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord," the red hat seems to say, even though he is a puddle of flesh, melting like cheese but smelling of meat. Maiden knows he's dead, but the kid keeps talking, and Maiden just lies there, waiting helplessly as he was taught to do in minor school. He does not extend a hand. He does not rush to the boy's side, though the urge to is overpowering, and Maiden screams his guts out and cries for God in heaven to have mercy. He's just a kid, 19, 20 at most, a big, gangly-legged kid whose kneecaps have been blown off. Jesus, oh Jesus, hurry the fuck up down there. Maiden calls again and again before the power is thrown and the red hat stops chattering. I've got another page. Think I can read it? A couple pages. In the other version, Maiden has seen a ghost before. In the other version, Maiden had seen a ghost behind the red hat. Some kind of phantom, a wisp or something. It was blurry but distinct enough that Maiden had fixed his gaze upon it while the kid had talked on and on about his cousin Jimmy going off to Beckley. Maiden's wife begs him every night to quit. Number 6 is about to shut down soon anyway, she tells him. When Maiden dons his carbide light and packs his dinner bucket with water and leftovers, she resorts to threats, name-calling. Maiden, you son of a bitch. Maiden. He lets her speak her piece. He goes on to work. Someone has to run the scoop. Today they are coming back up the middle, robbing all the pillars. Number 6 will chase them tunnel by tunnel as they pull the timbers and wait for the roof to collapse, one room at a time, so they can mine the fall. That's money standing there supporting the roof, and the company wants every square inch. The Red Hat is not the first man Maiden has known who has died, nor the only death he's witnessed firsthand. Jenkins Klein was caught between 2 cars on the tipple of a breaker. Clarence Price was killed by a rush of sluice when water forced it out the gangway. Julius Reed was tamping a hole when powder in the tunnel exploded. During miners' training, Maiden heard about men suffocating when they walked into pockets of gas, being struck by frozen slags of comb, or being smothered by a rush of dirt working at the comb bank. Men had been run over by loaders, crushed by cave-ins when the ribs gave way. They had been burned, mangled by machinery, and electrocuted like Charlie, the young Red Hat. When Maiden runs the scoop back through the shaft where the boy died, he wonders about the aunt's house in Grundy and whether or not they had indeed been somewhere up under it when the kid had gotten caught up in the wire. It's risky thinking about the dead so soon, if old wives' tales are to be believed. Bad luck. Better if he thinks of something else, just in case, but the Red Hat consumes his thoughts. Goose, what was his name? And then the boy melting like a popsicle before him. He wondered where the boy's aunt might have been standing. Had she felt something deep in the earth, some pull on her like a dowsing stick drawn by a vein of groundwater? The robbers begin taking out a few of the timbers as Maiden waits near the other room with a scoop and watches. Those remaining start to buckle under the weight of the roof, but the process is not as fast as he expects. The roof does not cave in immediately in order for them to load the fallen coal onto Maiden's scoop and send it out into the yard. The robbers go one timber at a time, striking with their hammers, prying and shoving on each one until it kicks loose from the floor and the weight of the rock above their heads is redistributed to the others still standing. It's a game of Russian roulette, no telling when the roof will fall, so they work slowly, pulling one timber and then watching, listening as the other supports begin to splinter and crack in the dark around them. There is nervous energy between the robbers. They talk casually together, laugh loudly, estimating if they should maybe pull another one. Watching by the dim torch of the carbide light becomes unbearable for Maiden. He can feel the weight pressing down on him. Inch by inch, timbers slowly splintering and buckling all around, but still the roof is content to hold. Son of a bitch, says one of the robbers. She ain't budging. Run the scoop up here, Hoss, and let's see if we can't shake this bitch loose. Maiden realizes he is being addressed, but still he hesitates. What's that? Run the scoop this way and see if it don't shake the ground just enough. All 4 of the men, including Maiden, are working on their stomachs. Whenever the roof does decide to fall, they won't be able to run. The robbers can't risk pulling out another timber. Maiden watches as they make their way toward him to the other room, a safe distance from the shattering timbers. At least he has the scoop, which might be fast enough. He wedges himself into the machine and drives forward cautiously as the robbers tell him how to proceed. Tap on that one right there, says Aubrey Massey. Easy ought to do it, and then hightail it back. Goose Gossage was the ball player's name, Maiden remembers now. And then he is caught by a feeling of being drawn upward. He hears a low growl of thunder and looks around to see that the catboards have begun to twist and rip. The watery contents of his stomach seem to rise like a wave. But it's not only that. The blood in his heart and veins seems to pool at the top of his head. The Red Hat's aunt is standing directly over him, he realizes. Maiden closes his eyelids, lifts his face, and as the tears well in his eyes, they too are drawn up in streaks that wash the coal dust from his temples and up over his forehead. The woman kneels to the floor and places her hand just there on his cheek, and then the earth rains down.